Well, hello everybody, Captain Smonge here, and today I'd like to talk about how I found YouTube poop and what it has evolved into for me today. Way back in 2010, I'd say it was around February, my family got a DSL connection to the internet, which was infinitely faster than dial-up, so the first site that I hit was YouTube. Even though I didn't know it, when I was looking for Tourette's Guy dubbed over cartoons, it's pretty much implied that you're going to run into YouTube poop eventually, but I didn't know it then. I found what I was looking for in Super Tourette's Brothers, Tourette's Guy dubbed over Super Mario Bros. 3 cartoons. The more I looked for Tourette's Guy dubs, the more and more I saw the tags YTP and even its full title, YouTube Poop. At first I was disgusted by the notion of a video being called Poop, and was even a little worried watching this stuff might not be legal or moral. After I ran through every Tourette's Guy and cartoon dub I could find that wasn't strictly labeled YTP, and believe me, I went through them pretty fast. I gave in to my curiosity and watched Sonic and Tourette's Guy play baseball. The first instance I knowingly and willingly watched a YouTube poop. It was a fairly simple sound replacement poop. Nothing really else standing out in it, besides splicing in words and sounds from other sources. But I was hooked. I think because I wasn't looking for poop in a traditional sense, I bypassed a lot of the pitfalls of getting hooked on fads, popular sources, or poopers. And because I was so late to getting into poop, the time guys like Deeper Cut, walrusguy, Boogity Boo, and Mr. Simon had already passed, and there weren't any poopers who were in high demand at the time. Maybe Dinner Warrior or Hurricoaster, but even at that point, Hurricoaster stopped making videos around the same time I started watching poop. Now, don't quote me on that. I've never really watched Hurricoaster's videos, so I don't know if he's started up again since I started watching YouTube poop, but around that time, his account was pretty much dead. All the same, since I wasn't traditionally inundated into YouTube poop the way most of you people were, I started out watching a lot of small-time names and one-shot poops you've probably never even heard of. The only guy I watched then you might have known was the Morshu Show, who may or may not have also been known as a Josh. Either way, I watched a lot of their stuff. Also, while I'm thinking about it, another person who I watched a lot of was the Nintendo Poop series by the Maple Syrup Show. And I thought they were hilarious at the time, but even now to today, they're still really hilarious in the sense that they're so bad, they're just that great. I would encourage you to look them up on YouTube. I think you'll definitely get a good laugh out of them, because I know even to this day I still do, even if it's just the fact that I'm laughing at the videos themselves. One day, though, I was surprised to see that videos like Robotnik's Penis Machine, Nintendo Poop Series, and SpongeBob and Patrick Sell Penis no longer entertained me. There were only so many times I could hear penis and dinner sound replaced to bad paint jobs before it stopped making me laugh. After maybe 3 or 4 months of watching poop, I started watching Frobo Productions, Tornus, CG Flow, and Deeper Cut. In short, I kinda started catching up with the rest of the YTP world, even if these poopers were already well into their twilight years. While I became further engrossed in YTP and started learning more and more about poopers in the YTP community, I came across YTP News around May that year. Through watching YouTube Poop News, I started kind of psyching myself up into wanting to make videos too. So I did what just about every pooper did when they started. Head over to Yoshi Art and Quebec Gamers, grab some CDI and Mama Luigi, and decided to start making YouTube poops. There was one thing though. When I started, I didn't want to make the kind of videos that I had up to that point been watching. Sound replacements, MS Paint, sentence mixing sex jokes, no. I wanted to try to make videos differently than other people and build a style for myself. So I pretty much memorized the top 10 worst things bad poopers do and top 10 things poop fanboys do, as well as the Movie Maker special. I head over to the effects archive, souped up Movie Maker, and made my first YouTube poop. Presented in sus. It was effect heavy, where I pretty much beat the hell out of the sources, chopping them up, rendering them, compositing them, rendering them again. It certainly wasn't like most YTPs I had watched. It mimicked something more along the lines of a generic tennis match. Ironically, I would use that poop as a serve against Mountain Dew Man in what I know was my first tennis match and pretty sure was his first one too. I made about 5 poops when I started out before uploading them, carefully crafting them while trying small variations on each video to hone just what kind of style I wanted. Of the 5, my first original 3 poops are still on my channel. One I deleted because I simply didn't like it, and the missing 5th one refused to render in Windows Movie Maker. A true shame, since of the 5 it was my favorite. As I continued to watch YouTube Poop News, I heard more and more about an online poop community that had certainly drummed up a reputation for you either loving it or hating it. YouTube Poop. Hearing YCP mentioned so much on YouTube Poop News, I got curious. I looked around and for the most part heard nothing about the site that made me want to join it. I kept hearing words like elitist, cruel, and even worse than 4chan applied to the place. And as I understood it, I thought YTP was some sort of iconoclastic pantheon of poop snobs trying to own the YTP community. I largely ignored it during the summer for a good part, while at the same time I started to make a few friends in the community. The two most important and valuable friends I have made are undoubtedly JoeTheBlueDragon and DoomZappo. In fact, DoomZappo, if I remember correctly, was one of my very first subscribers and regular viewers alongside TrueTube Poops and Nash Metal 100, the very first YouTube poopers I remember meeting. After a while though, I got more and more curious about the YouTube forums. Back then, in August, I joined as Captain Smonge against what I thought then was my better judgment, and time would disprove my hasty presumptions. Funny enough, I stuck around YouTube because of DoomZappo and Joe, who were active in the Poop Talk section of the site. I was still undecided about how I felt about YouTube that early on. I figured if at the very least, if it was as bad as I was told, at least I had an account I could spam and troll with for a while before being banned. Yes, I really did think I'd do that back then. I'll only mention YouTube so much because of what an integral part of my YTP career it has been. It has led to some of my greatest friends, the worst drama, and the greatest times I've experienced on the internet. There's so many little things I could go into detail about YouTube, like how I used to be one of the people who made Poop Talk an unpleasant place by contributing to the elitist bile I initially resented, the drama of taking poop seriously, and the questionable behavior by senior members which made my best friends leave the site in dissatisfaction, even to me being instated as the janitor for this section to keep the place clean and sparkly in 2011. As a YouTube pooper, I've had at the very least a fulfilling career. Between my main account and my alt, I've made about 50 videos, recently capped off at around 260 subscribers, and I'm very active in the community. In fact, as a YouTube pooper, it's the community that keeps me coming back, not the videos. To me, there's nothing better than sitting down with your chums to shoot the breeze about poop or just goof around in a Skype call. I've been privileged to meet and befriend so many amazing poopers, from the criminally unknowns to the superstars of the genre. I have a few closing thoughts as well. YouTube poop. Long story short, don't take it seriously. It'll really fuck you up emotionally and mentally, which becomes all the worse when you realize you're getting bent out of shape over what's supposed to be making fun, wacky videos on the internet with your friends. Also, always make your videos the ways you know how to make them or how you want to make them. Don't ever let anybody tell you how you're supposed to make your videos. If somebody says, oh, you need to have more visuals, or oh, your sentence mixing isn't understandable, or oh, you shouldn't have done that, it's not funny, kindly tell them to go die in a fire, and tell them Captain Smonge says so too. These videos are yours. Own them. Own your style. Don't worry about making good videos, just make videos. Your greatest fans are going to be your friends, and it's the people you meet in this genre and how well you get to know them that measures your success as a YTPer as far as I'm concerned.